When we think of AI, we usually picture it living inside our phones or our computers. But what happens when it starts to build our actual homes? Today, we're going to explore how artificial intelligence is breaking out of the digital realm to become a new kind of architect, one that's totally reshaping the very spaces where we live and work.
Now, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that AI is here to replace human designers. But this quote from Crystal Bright really nails it. The goal isn't replacement, it's amplification. Think of AI less as the artist and more as an incredible new paintbrush, one that can help create things we're only just starting to dream up.
So here's our roadmap. We'll start by asking if AI can really be an architect. Then we'll dive into the new digital toolkit designers are using. After that, we'll look at the amazing possibilities this unlocks, tackle the big question about the human touch, and finally peek into the future of our digital homes. All right, first up, can an algorithm really be an architect? Let's take a look at how AI is making that huge leap from lines of code to actual concrete and steel. So how does this actually work? Well, at its core, AI is doing a few key things. It's automating all the boring, tedious tasks, which frees up designers to focus on the big creative ideas. It's also analyzing massive amounts of data, everything from foot traffic to sunlight patterns, to make sure a space is perfectly optimized. And it can even sift through culture to predict what the next big design trends are going to be. Okay, so that's the theory. But what tools are people actually using? This is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at the new digital toolkit that's changing the game for designers right now. What's so cool here is how specialized these tools are becoming. You've got Autodesk Forma, which is amazing for the very start of a project. It analyzes zoning laws, environmental factors, all that stuff. Then there's Hypar, which lets you see in real time if a design is actually viable. And for showing off to clients, a tool like Foyer is a total game changer, creating these stunning 3D renders in a fraction of the time it used to take. But this new toolkit isn't just for building the house. It's also about the intelligence that lives inside it. We hear the term smart home thrown around all the time, right? But basically, it just means a home where all the systems, lighting, heating, even security, are all connected and can be managed intelligently. And this is where it gets really personal. We're talking about more than just voice commands. The AI can actually learn your daily routine. When you wake up, when you leave for work, when you like to relax, it starts to anticipate your needs and adjusts the lighting, the temperature, everything, just for you. It creates a space that literally adapts to your life. Two other huge tools in this new kit are AR and VR, and it helps to know the difference. AR, or augmented reality, puts digital things into your real world. Think of that IKEA app when you can see how a new sofa looks in your actual living room through your phone. VR, virtual reality, is totally different. You put on a headset and you're transported to a completely digital world. Architects use this to let clients walk through a building before a single brick is ever laid. So, we've got all these incredibly powerful tools, but what does that really mean for designers and for the rest of us? Let's get into the amazing new possibilities that open up when you have AI as a kind of digital co-pilot. Here's a number that really drives the point home: 20%. Real estate listings with AI-powered virtual staging have been shown to sell 20% faster. And that's not just a cool gimmick. It's a tool that actually helps people emotionally connect with an empty space and imagine it as their own. And the advantages go so much deeper. AI boosts efficiency by taking over the grunt work. It broadens exploration by coming up with hundreds of design ideas a human would never have time for. It allows for hyper-personalization, tailoring a space to your specific lifestyle. And maybe most importantly, it's making high-end design tools more affordable and accessible for everyone. Here's a perfect example of this in action: sustainable design. A designer just inputs their goals like, I want to use renewable resources. The AI then scans huge databases, analyzes the environmental impact of thousands of materials, and then spits out a list of the best options that tick all the boxes: sustainable, good-looking, functional, and on budget. It's a seriously powerful way to build greener. Of course, it's not all a perfect digital utopia. Any big technological change brings up fair concerns. And that leads us to the big one. Is the human touch at risk? We have to talk about the real challenges that come with using AI in a creative field. And this really gets to the heart of the debate. An algorithm is unbelievably efficient at spotting patterns in data. But human creativity, that brings emotional depth, cultural understanding, the ability to tell a story with a space. An AI is trained on what already exists. It can't truly think outside the box. And maybe most importantly, a human builds a relationship.
They understand the little things a client might not even know how to say.
This quote from a Reddit user just says it all. At the end of the day, design is a personal service. It's built on trust and communication. That relationship between the designer and the client, that's where the magic really happens. And that's a very human thing. And beyond the philosophical stuff, there are some major practical problems. An AI is only as good as its data. If the data is biased, you get boring designs. The startup cost for the software and training can be a huge barrier for smaller companies. An AI can still get stuck when a client has a really unique or complex request. Plus, you've got the huge ethical and privacy questions that come with using personal data. So trying to balance all the pros and cons, where's this all going? Let's look ahead at the trends that are going to shape our intelligent spaces in the coming years. The pace of change here is just incredible. I mean, look at this. In just the next few years, we're expecting VR to become even more immersive, material selection to get way smarter, and AI collaboration platforms to just be the standard way things are done. By the end of the decade, hyper-personalized designs based on our actual lifestyles could be the norm. The ultimate vision here is a truly interconnected living space. This isn't just about adding a few smart gadgets to a regular house. We're talking about designing our homes from the ground up, with intelligence woven into the very fabric of the building, creating a home that's responsive, efficient, and totally in sync with the people inside it. Which brings us to this final, really important question. We know our homes are getting smarter, more optimized, more efficient. But as we hand over more of the design process to data and algorithms, the big challenge for all of us is going to be this. How do we make sure that these spaces we create still feel human?